I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour. International Women's Day is being observed today. President Droupadi Murmu will grace the celebrations organized by Ministry of Women and Child Development. The global theme for the year 2026 is Rights, Justice, Action for All Women and Girls. Israel-Iran trade strikes as West Asia conflict enters day 9th. Netanyahu vows to continue attacks with full force, says Israel has planned to topple Iranian regime. President Trump rejects deployment of UK aircraft carriers to West Asia, accuses Starmer of seeking to join wars after we've already won. Rapper turned politician Balen Shah led Rashtriya Swatantrata Party set to form government after decisive victory in Nepal's general polls. Prime Minister Modi congratulates Nepal on democratic milestone. And in sports, defending champions India to take on New Zealand in the title clash of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup in Ahmedabad. Let's start with the big breaking news coming in from West Asia. Gulf nations reported missiles and drone attacks on Sunday as the regional conflict entered its second week. The Kuwait Army has reported fuel tanks belonging to Kuwait International Airport were targeted in a drone attack. Kuwaiti military posted on X saying fuel tanks belonging to Kuwait International Airport came under attack by drones in a direct targeting of vital infrastructure. Kuwait Defense Ministry spokesman said the country's armed forces have been dealing with a wave of hostile drones that breached the country's airspace. This is the latest we're getting for you on the West Asia crisis. The fire at fuel storage tanks at Kuwait's international airport have been brought under control. The Saudi Defense Ministry said on Sunday that it had intercepted a drone attack targeting the diplomatic quarter in the capital Riyadh. No casualties or damage has been reported till now. Meanwhile, Iran said that it will keep fighting. According to the Fars news agency, Revolutionary Guard's spokesperson Ali Mohammad Naini said that the armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran are capable of continuing at least a 6-month intense war at the current pace of operations. This is the big breaking news we're getting for you on the West Asia crisis. Gulf nations have reported missiles and drone attacks on Sunday as the regional conflict entered its second week. The conflict involving Iran intensified late on Saturday when flames erupted from an oil storage facility in Tehran. Israel's military confirmed its strikes on the fuel shortage in the fuel storage facilities, marking a significant escalation as video footage showed Tehran's skyline illuminated by the explosions. Now, this incident appears to be the first targeting of a civil industrial site during the current hostilities. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced that there would be many surprises in the ongoing military engagement. Air raid sirens blazed across Israel early on Sunday morning as the military reported intercepting missiles launched from Iran in at least 2 waves targeting Israeli territory. Alerts sounded in northern regions including Haifa, prompting residents to seek shelter, followed by activation in southern areas such as Beersheba and parts of the occupied West Bank. The Home Front commander later lifted restrictions, stating that it was safe to leave protocol spaces nationwide. Israeli air defenses successfully intercepted most incoming projectiles, with no immediate reports of damage or casualties from the latest barrage. US President Donald Trump has said that he is not interested in negotiating with Iran and raised the possibility that the conflict would only end once Tehran no longer has a functioning military or any remaining leadership in power. Speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One on Saturday, Trump said that the air campaign could make negotiations a moot point if all potential leaders of Iran are killed and the Iranian military is destroyed. All right, DD India's Amritpal Singh joins us for more. Amrit, good morning. We have given the latest on West Asia crisis to our viewers, but I want you to spell more as to how do we expect the days ahead to pan out. Donald Trump vehemently says that the war will continue until they bring an end to Iran's leadership. At the same time, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard are opposed to this, and they are saying that they will fight till the last breath, and they are well occupied with 6 months of artillery ahead if the war continues. Put all this together, how do we expect the days ahead?
Well, it's escalating, and it's entered a new phase of escalation, Preeti, with economic, non-military targets being hit now, civilian infrastructure being hit on both sides. Within Iran, we saw what happened yesterday to that oil refinery just south of Tehran, called the Shahan oil refinery, which produces about 15% of Iran's oil requirements, or refines 15% of Iran's oil. A school has been hit, another school has been hit, the earlier one in Menab, in which 165 children had died. Now another school has been hit, where there's reportedly one death. The same from the Iranian side, they've hit Kuwait, a social security office was hit. They've hit the Ali al-Salem airbase of Kuwait. They set projectiles into Israel. They've bombed the Haifa oil refinery. So with all this, basically the escalation is now moving fast from military targets to non-military, civilian, and economic targets. With already tensions up and insurers pulling out with an uncertain situation, the oil prices, Brent breaching the $90 per barrel mark. If such attacks on oil refineries, etc., continues, then there would be an economic impact. The oil could breach anything above 100, possibly go up to 150 if this drags on for some time. And as far as Donald Trump's statements go, Donald Trump is given to rhetoric. He doesn't seem to be backing down, especially on a day when the bodies of the 6 American soldiers killed in Kuwait arrived there. And he was part of that solemn ceremony called the Dignified Transfer Ceremony. So he's trying to sound brave because polls suggest that most Americans do not support the war. So he cannot be seen as backing down. The IRGC knows very well, that unless ground forces enter Iran, which doesn't look likely right now, regime change cannot be effected. Though there is some domestic backlash because of Pezeshkian's televised apology, but they've been at pains to explain that they will not attack the Gulf countries if they don't allow the Americans and the Israelis to use their bases. Mainly Americans. Israelis are firing from their own territory. So both the IRGC, the Speaker of the Majlis, Ali Lajani, who's a key figure, who's the Secretary of the National Security Council, has been saying that we will hit everyone who will allow their land to be used for hitting us. So clearly, it is at an escalatory, on the escalatory ladder, and before it comes down, and that doesn't seem to be in sight, Preeti.
All right, the Israeli military has also confirmed its attack on Iranian oil refinery, oil fuel storage facility. Now, this also put into perspective for us, Amrit. How do we expect the economic fallout of this war to have a bearing on the world economy, given the way the oil prices have shot up?
Not just the oil prices. Oil prices, of course, have shot up, and the immediate effect is on the oil prices. But then there is this whole question of food security.
Yes.
Sulfur also passes through that Strait of Hormuz, which is technically open. The Iranians are saying, no, we have not closed that. But, it's down to a trickle because insurers are pulling out, ships are not going in. The Americans said, we'll escort. The Iranians retorted back, saying, come, we're waiting for you, because they know if the Americans come in, escort ships, and they hit their ships, there will be a response. So that creates even more panic, and the risk appetite in the world is already very low. So, it could create inflationary pressures. Food security could come into issue, especially in the Gulf region. It could come into issue because, they do not grow much. They import most of their food from countries like India. That's going to be that's a big worry that's staring the world in the face. And then, once inflation goes up in countries, as both Kuwait and Oman have indicated that they have, put their production on hold because they're not left with enough storage facilities. So this will, push the crude up, and that could create inflation worldwide. Preeti.
All right, Amit, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for joining in with those updates and that analysis. And US President Donald Trump on Saturday criticized British Prime Minister Keir Starmer over reports that the United Kingdom was considering sending aircraft carriers to West Asia amid the ongoing conflict with Iran. In a Truth Social post, Trump stated the United Kingdom, once a great ally, was finally giving serious thought to deploying 2 aircraft carriers, but added that the United States did not need them any longer. He remarked that US does not need people that join wars after they're already won, adding that he would remember the initial reluctance. This followed UK Ministry of Defence's announcement placing HMS Prince of Wales on heightened readiness with a 5-day deployment notice, though no final decision has been taken. Prime Minister Starmer initially blocked the US offensive use of British bases, but later approved limited defensive operations from RAF Fairford and Diego Garcia after Iranian missile threats to the allies. US forces started utilizing these sites on Saturday to counter Iranian missiles. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed to prosecute the conflict against Iran with full force, stating that Israel has a plan to eliminate the country's leadership. The conflict is now in its second week.
You are telling me, the government, the soldiers and our heroic commanders to continue until the end, until victory. I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support, and I inform you we are continuing with all our force. In war you win with initiative and cunning, but the first element of success is determination.
As we told you, the conflict is now in its second week and has intensified with Iran launching missiles and drones across the Gulf. US and Israeli forces struck Tehran airport, oil depots and military sites. Iran claimed attacks on a US base in Bahrain and targeted shipping. Regional spillover also includes strikes in Lebanon, explosions in Gulf states and intercepted threats near Riyadh and Dubai. US President Donald Trump and the First Lady Melania Trump attended the return of 6 American service members killed in a drone strike, the first US troops to die in the West Asia conflict. The troops were killed last Sunday when a drone struck a US command center in Kuwait, a day after the United States and Israel launched their military campaign against Iran. All 6 service members were assigned to the Des Moines, Iowa-based 103rd Sustainment Command. Trump saluted as flag-draped cases carrying the soldiers' remains were carried off a military transport plane at Dover Air Force Base. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth were also present at the airport. The Arab League is set to hold an emergency meeting on Sunday to discuss Iranian attacks across the region, including in the Gulf. The meeting, which will be held via video conference, was requested by Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, Jordan and Egypt Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Abdul Ghait had earlier condemned the Iranian attacks, saying they are fully reprehensible and not only a blatant violation of international law and the UN Charter, but also an assault on the principles of good neighborliness. European Union leaders Antonio Costa and Ursula von der Leyen will hold a video conference with West Asian leaders on Monday to discuss the situation in the region. A spokesperson for EU Council, President Antonio Costa, said on Friday that the exchange will provide an opportunity to hear leaders' assessment of the situation and to discuss further support from the EU and its member states to countries in the region, as well as ways to bring the current conflict to an end. Earlier, foreign ministers of all the 27 EU members discussed the situation in Iran and the broader West Asia with their counterparts from Gulf Cooperation Council in a video call on Thursday. Norwegian police reported on Sunday an explosion near the US Embassy in the capital. Oslo Police Department in a statement said that the explosion occurred at around 1 a.m. local time, adding that they had no information about the blast's cause or who was behind it. Police said that it was in contact with the embassy about the incident and that a large number of resources were on site. US embassies have been placed on high alert in West Asia over US military operations in Iran, and several have faced attacks as Tehran hits back at industrial and diplomatic targets. But police gave no indication that the incident near the embassy in Oslo was connected to the conflict. You're watching DD India News. I'm waiting for a short break, but after the break, Indian government continues monitoring the evolving situation in West Asia and the Gulf region, keeping track of the welfare of stranded Indian nationals. US President Trump launches military alliance of Latin American nations against drug cartels. Welcome back. After the break, you're watching DD India Newshour. The government of India is continuously monitoring this evolving situation in West Asia and the Gulf region, especially with regard to the welfare of Indian nationals who have been stranded there during transit or on short duration visits. All Indian nationals are advised in the Gulf region to follow the guidelines of the local authorities as well as the advisories being issued by the Indian embassy or consulate in their location. Detailed advisories have also been issued by the Indian embassies and consulates in the region. 24/7 helplines have been set up to assist in addressing concerns on account of the ongoing situation. The Ministry of External Affairs has also set up a dedicated special control room to monitor and respond to queries from those affected as well as their families. Following the partial opening of airspace across the region in the last few days, Indian and foreign airlines are operating commercial flights, including non-scheduled flights, to enable the return of Indian passengers who were in transit or on short-term visits in these countries. In other news, Nepal's Rashtriya Swatantrata Party of rapper turned politician Balen Shah has secured a majority in the direct parliamentary elections. Counting is underway for 28 constituencies and the final results have been declared for 135 constituencies. RSP has 106 constituencies and is leading in 18 sets under the first phase of the post system. Nepali Congress won 15 seats and is leading in another 3 constituencies. UML has won 7 seats and is leading in 3, while NCP has won 6 seats and is leading in 2 constituencies. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday extended greetings to Nepal's newly elected government. In a post on social media, Prime Minister Modi congratulated people and the government of Nepal on successful and peaceful completion of the elections. He said, and I quote him, "I'm immensely delighted to see my Nepali sisters and brothers so vibrantly exercising their democratic rights." Prime Minister Modi further said that this historic achievement is a proud moment in Nepal's democratic journey. He reiterated India's commitment to work with Nepal in establishing peace. DD India Shweta Singh joins us from Kathmandu. Shweta, good morning. You told our viewers about the astounding victory which has been clocked by RSP. You get us more details. Get us the latest on the counting of votes there.
Preeti, by now you see Rashtriya Swatantra Party has won on 106 seat and they are leading in another 18. So chances are like they will definitely get 120 seats in under first past the post system. And as first past the post system counting is completed, counting for proportional representation will start. And we expect that by Monday or Tuesday, the total counting for 275 seats for House of Representatives will be over. And then by now, approximately it's like 2/3 majority Rashtriya Swatantra Party is getting. And the second largest party, which will be Nepali Congress, has won 15 seats. So you can see the striking difference between 106 seats what they have won and what Nepali Congress is achieving, 15, and UML is getting 8, NCP is getting 8, 9 like this. So public here in Nepal have given a clean sweep, a complete mandate to Rashtriya Swatantra Party. So this time I see it's like more of a revenge voting towards traditional parties, that what you have done indicates we expect this young party to do something for us in quick time. So it's a really amazing results here in Nepal.
Yes, it is a decisive mandate. But then when we talk of the road ahead for RSP, what challenges will be faced, by the new government?
So Rashtriya Swatantra Party, when they were fielding on the ground, they very clearly brought up 100 points that they want to work with these 100 points, like removing the legal barriers in financial institutions like PayPal. We couldn't pay here with other international systems here. But they told they will remove all the legal barriers so that they can connect with the global financial system. And they want digital connectivity. See, India is also working very well with Nepal in digital connectivity. We have established UPI with Nepal. So they are RSP also wants to strengthen it the way we want. So I think RSP is also going way smoother. The expectation with the neighbors is also high with RSP because their manifesto and our vision is approximately similar. And it's like digital connectivity, giving employment here in Nepal, preventing youth to go for education to foreign land. Because you see across the globe, when we see Nepalis are established in approximately every country. So the migration, this has to be stopped, and RSP has a vision to stop this migration. Remittance is one of the earnings for Nepal, that is for sure. Getting money back home is also important, but preventing youth who are being forced to go out, that has to be stopped. And that RSP has given vision of industry, entrepreneurship, how like in Bangalore and Hyderabad, when people can work from home, why not in Nepal? So these visions RSP have given to the public of Nepal, and for that purpose, you see 106 votes already they have seats they have got. Expecting they will work in this line.
All right, Shweta, we leave it here. Thank you for joining in with those updates. And now we turn focus to Myanmar. Myanmar on Saturday launched a sweeping fuel rationing system for private vehicles, blaming disruptions to the global energy supply chain caused by escalating hostilities in the Middle East. Under a new even-odd licensing scheme, even-numbered plates will only be allowed to drive on even dates and odd-numbered plates on odd dates. Electric vehicles and electric motorcycles are exempt. The country's National Defense and Security Council warned businesses and individuals not to hoard fuel for resale at inflated prices, saying that violators would be prosecuted. Global shipping costs have surged amid an ongoing US and Israeli war against Iran and the effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz, disrupting tankers bound for Asian ports. Indonesia has announced that it will seek suspension of concessions against EU at the World Trade Organization following EU's failure to comply with a previous WTO ruling on palm oil. The decision comes after the European Union missed a deadline to adjust its policy in line with WTO's recommendations. The dispute revolves around EU's Renewable Energy Directive of 2018, which limits the use of crop-based biofuels for member states' renewable energy targets. The move signals growing trade tensions between Indonesia and EU over sustainability standards and biofuel policies. Irrespective of the differences over trade between India and the US, Dr. Leslie Vinjamuri, President and CEO of Chicago Council on Global Affairs, says in an exclusive conversation with our correspondent Akhilesh Suman that there is bipartisan support for India in the United States. She adds that India-US relations will bounce back in the years to come. Let's listen in.
Here with me is the President of the Council, Vinjamuri. Vinjamuri, what is happening between India and USA?
I think there's a moment in which the U.S. and India are trying to really restore what was a deep rupture in the relationship last summer. At this Raisina dialogue, we've seen several meetings between Americans and Indians where they've really tried to move the relationship back on track, to look ahead, to look forward. I think, there's been a long-standing bipartisan commitment on the part of the United States to India. Everybody understands its strategic and geopolitical significance. There's a sense of another democracy, the world's largest democracy, working with the United States. That sort of shared basis of history and values is extremely important.
If this is bipartisan consensus about India, then why is so much of hiccups between India and USA?
Because President Trump is a president who has got a very singular view on the economy, on trade, on tariffs, and bilateral trade balances. And he just had it in for anybody who wasn't on the right side of that ledger. And so there was really no exception made. But we have seen a recalibration, and I think that's sort of the interesting story, that despite the profound disruption and the, at one point, 50% tariffs, that there's been a clawing back. And the U.S. understands that India is critical. And, right now we're seeing the decision made to lift for 30 days the sanctions on the export of Russian oil to India. This is a very complicated terrain, but I think what it does show, regardless of one's position, is how profoundly important and enduring this relationship.
U.S. President Donald Trump has announced the formation of a new military coalition aimed at eradicating drug cartels across the Western Hemisphere. The announcement was made during the Shield of the Americas summit in Florida, attended by more than a dozen leaders from Central America, South America, and the Caribbean. Trump has repeatedly cited drug cartels as a major security threat. His administration has also increased pressure on Venezuela in recent months, including action against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro earlier this year. The summit also comes as Washington seeks to counter the growing influence of Xi Jinping's China in the region ahead of expected talks between U.S. and Chinese leadership later this month. U.S. President Trump also announced a new military coalition to eradicate cartels.
The heart of our agreement is a commitment to using lethal military force to destroy the sinister cartels and terrorist networks once and for all. We'll get rid of them. We need your help. You have to just tell us where they are. We have amazing weaponry, as you probably noticed over the last short period of time.
And now we take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across the world. Children in Finland's Pargus Island region are commuting to school by hovercraft because of unusually thick winter ice. The hovercraft has replaced regular ferries that cannot move easily through the frozen waters. In Venezuela, people are keeping alive a traditional cowboy sport known as soleo or bull-tailing. Now, the fast-paced sport is a popular cultural tradition in the country's grassland communities and requires skill, speed and courage. Colombian singer João Fernando Fonseca, known for blending pop with tropical rhythms, has announced a major concert in Bogota. Fonseca is celebrated across Latin America for his energetic performances. You're watching DD India News. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, Prime Minister Narendra Modi to launch development projects worth 33,500 crore rupees in Delhi. 9 women have become a symbol of pride at the Vizinjam seaport. How? Stay with us to know. With focus on women's fitness on International Women's Day, Pinkathon 2026 witnesses record participation by women across multiple race categories.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News. A quick relook at the top stories now. International Women's Day is being observed today. President Droupadi Murmu will grace the celebrations organized by Ministry of Women and Child Development. The global theme for the year 2026 is Rights, Justice, Action for All Women and Girls. Israel-Iran trade strikes as West Asia conflict enters day 9. Netanyahu vows to continue attacks with full force, says Israel has planned to topple the Iranian regime. President Trump rejects deployment of UK aircraft carriers to West Asia, accuses Starmer of seeking to join wars after we've already won. Rapper turned politician Balen Shah led Rashtriya Swatantrata Party set to form government after decisive victory in Nepal's general polls. Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulates Nepal on democratic milestone. And in sports, defending champions India to take on New Zealand in the title clash of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup in Ahmedabad. President Droupadi Murmu will grace the national level International Women's Day celebrations organised by the Ministry of Women and Child Development at Manekshaw Centre in New Delhi on Sunday. She will also deliver the keynote address emphasising on women as the foundation of the society and nation. The event features around 1,000 women participants from over 150 ministries, departments and organisations, showcasing diverse fields and the expanding role of women contribution. Union Minister Annapurna Devi and Minister of State Savitri Thakur will also attend. The program includes panel discussions on labour codes, enhancing women empowerment and self-help group women as entrepreneurs. Now, this observance aligns with the global theme Rights, Justice, Action for All Women and Girls, reinforcing India's commitment to women-led development and the vision of Viksit Bharat at 2047. On the occasion of International Women's Day, President Droupadi Murmu extended her heartfelt greetings. On social media platform X, the President said, and I quote her, "Warm greetings to all on International Women's Day. Educated and empowered women are the pillars of a progressive nation. As Nari Shakti continues to excel across diverse fields and lead with courage, it strengthens the foundation of a more inclusive and prosperous society. On this occasion, let us reaffirm our collective commitment to building a society where every woman has equal opportunities to grow and live with dignity, safety and freedom. Together, let us create an environment where the aspirations and achievements of women shape a more equitable future." And on the occasion of International Women's Day, we celebrate the achievements, resilience and contribution of women who continue to shape a stronger and more inclusive India. Across sectors from science and entrepreneurship to governance, defense and sports, Indian women are excelling and making the nation proud. Take a look.
The theme of International Women's Day this year, Rights, Justice, Action for All Women and Girls, highlights the importance of ensuring equal opportunities, dignity and empowerment for every woman. In India, several initiatives of the Government of India are strengthening this vision of women-led development. Programs such as Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao are promoting the value of the girl child and encouraging education for girls across the country. Schemes like Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana have improved the lives of millions of women by providing access to clean cooking fuel and a healthy environment at home. Financial empowerment is also expanded through Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, enabling women entrepreneurs to assess credit and build successful enterprises. At the grassroots level, women-led self-help groups under the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihoods Mission are transforming rural livelihoods and strengthening community leadership. Today, women are making their mark in sectors ranging from technology and defense to sports and public administration, reflecting a confident and progressive India. As the nation celebrates International Women's Day, the message resonates strongly. Empowering women and girls is essential for building a just, equal, and prosperous future for all. Kriti Vadhera's report for DD India.
The Ministry of Women and Child Development organised women-led Shakti Walk titled as She Leads Bharat on Sunday along Kartavya Path in New Delhi as part of the International Women's Day celebrations. The programme included introductory remarks by the MC, the national song Vande Mataram, addresses by Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta, Union Minister for Women and Child Development Annapurna Devi and Union Minister for Finance Nirmala Sitharaman. The walk was flagged off this morning from India Gate to Vijay Chowk, covering approximately 2 kilometers. This symbolic march celebrated women's leadership and contribution towards Viksit Bharat. On the occasion of International Women's Day, here's an inspiring story of women empowerment from Rajasthan. About 8 years ago, the Northwestern Railways dedicated a railway station entirely to women. Since then, this busy station, used by thousands of passengers every day, has been run completely by female staff. The station is located on the Jaipur-Delhi main railway line. Around 50 trains pass through the station daily and about 25 trains halt here. Every day, nearly 7,000 to 10,000 passengers travel through the station, including a large number of students and women, as several colleges and coaching institutes are located nearby. A total of 30 women employees are posted at the station. They efficiently perform key roles to ensure smooth functioning and day-to-day operations of the station. High above the bustling docks of the Vizhinjam International Seaport in Thiruvananthapuram, a quiet revolution is taking place. 9 women, 7 from the local fishing community, are at the control of massive cranes, skillfully maneuvering containers that power India's trade. Of the 9, 7 are from the local fishing community, who are trained by the Skill Development Center near the port. As we celebrate the International Women's Day, these women have become a symbol of pride at the seaport in Thiruvananthapuram. Take a look.
For centuries, maritime work has been a male-dominated field marked by superstitions such as the old adage that a woman on board invites a storm. But in Vizhinjam, that myth is being decisively debunked one container at a time. The Vizhinjam port itself is a monumental feat of engineering, built entirely on 66 acres of land reclaimed from the sea. In just under a year of operation, it has handled over 1 million TEUs, a major milestone that demonstrates its potential to recapture a significant portion of India's transshipment cargo that was previously rerouted through foreign ports, saving the nation millions of dollars annually.
These kind of industries are already traditionally considered as a male-dominated field, right? So, and gradually my doubts, my concerns were cleared. There were my colleagues were there to help and to study a lot about these cranes and all that, to operate, make this operation easy, to feel comfortable with these operations. And I also have night shift, and that also made me to think women can also carry these responsibilities and these pressures and all that.
This initiative, supported by the Adani Skill Development Center, trains local youth with a special focus on empowering young women to take on these highly skilled roles.
First, when we joined, there was a lot of challenges there, a lot of difficulties there, but all of my colleagues helped us to, to practice give practice, and we do more practice, and after that now we are able to do operation.
As we celebrate the International Women's Day, we have with us a group of women from Kerala who have proved that nothing is impossible and women can scale the heights of glory, especially in a sector like maritime sector, which was mostly dominated by men once upon a time. The Adani Vizhinjam port has set a shining classical example with women crane operators managing the automated CRMG yard cranes here in the Vizhinjam International Port in Trivandrum. Remember, these 9 women who have been working in 3 different shifts has been working here in the port for the last 3 years. Most of them were from the fishing community and the nearby areas in Vizhinjam, has proved that this sector, the maritime sector and also the crane operation sector, is not just confined to men but also women.
Every year on 8th of March, the International Women's Day is celebrated to honour the achievements and rights of women. In India too, Prime Minister Modi-led government has introduced various schemes placing women's empowerment at the centre of policy and development. Take a look at this report.
The participation of women is imperative for the making of a Viksit Bharat or a developed India. Recognizing this, the central government under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi has launched several schemes for women's education, health, economic empowerment and safety. Launched in 2015, the Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme has evolved into a national movement for girl-child empowerment, focusing on mindset change, gender equality and multi-sectoral interventions. Under the Stand Up India scheme, women can access loans from Rs 10 lakh to Rs 1 crore with up to 7 years for repayment, making it easier to start or grow a business independently. The Lakhpati Didi scheme is another step towards women's economic empowerment. A Lakhpati Didi is a self-help group member whose household earns over Rs 1 lakh annually. The government has a target to create 6 crore Lakhpati Didis. Under the Jan Dhan Yojana, a large number of women have opened bank accounts, increasing their financial participation. The Union Budget 2026 has introduced provisions for self-help entrepreneurs via Shimart. The new program will establish community-owned retail outlets in every district. The Namo Drone Didi scheme empowers rural women by equipping selected women self-help groups with drones to provide rental services for precision agriculture. Under the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, free LPG connections have been provided to women from poor households. To increase women's representation in politics, Parliament has also passed the Women's Reservation Bill, paving the way for reserved seats for women in the Lok Sabha or the lower house and state legislative assemblies in the future. By investing in the well-being of women, these initiatives have also been contributing to inclusive growth and long-term development. Bureau Report, DD India.
On behalf of Sapt Shakti Command, Ranbankara Division will be organizing Gaurav Senani Samaro, a veterans rally on Sunday at Churu Sai Sports Stadium, honoring the veterans, Veer Naris and Viranganas from 8 tehsils of Churu district. More than 6,000 veterans are expected to benefit from this outreach initiative. Several dignitaries from the Indian Army and Civil Administration will be attending the event while reaffirming the Army's commitment to veteran welfare. The Veer Naris and veterans will be felicitated during the event for their contribution and sacrifice for the nation. Marking International Women's Day, the 8th edition of the Zydus Pinkathon was organized at Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in Delhi, celebrating women's health and fitness. Delhi Minister Ashish Sood attended the event, which witnessed enthusiastic participation from women across the capital. More than 10,000 women took part in the run across multiple race categories, including ultra distances of 50, 75 and 100 kilometers. The initiative highlighted the growing focus on women's fitness in line with the Fit India movement promoted by the government under Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The All-Women Bike Rally 2026 was flagged off on Sunday by Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla and Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta in New Delhi as part of the International Women's Day celebrations. Delhi Police Commissioner Satish Golcha was also present at the occasion, along with members of Parliament Priyanka Chaturvedi, Kamaljeet Sehrawat, Bansuri Swaraj and Swati Maliwal to encourage the participants. Special contingents from Delhi Police, Central Industrial Security Force and Sashastra Seema Bal will join the rally. The event aims to celebrate women empowerment, leadership and spirit on this historic day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate and lay the foundation stone for development projects worth approximately 33,500 crore rupees in Delhi on Sunday. He will also address the gathering during the event. Before the main event, Prime Minister will visit Central Pool Residential Accommodation Type 5 quarters in Sarojini Nagar and hand over keys to the female allottees. He will inaugurate 2 new Delhi metro corridors worth about 18,300 crore rupees. The 12.3 kilometers Pink Line section from Majlis Park to Maujpur, Babarpur and the 9.9 kilometer Magenta Line section from Dipali Chowk to Majlis Park, benefiting areas like Burari and Yamuna Vihar. The Government of India is redeveloping 7 aging government housing colonies in Delhi through an innovative self-financing model that requires no funding from the public exchequer. The project covers Sarojini Nagar, Netaji Nagar, Nauroji Nagar, Kasturba Nagar, Tyagraj Nagar, Srinivaspuri and Mohammadpur, spread across about 537 acres. The redevelopment will replace the old low-rise buildings with modern high-rise residential complexes, providing over 21,000 new flats along with upgraded infrastructure and public facilities. On 8th of March, Prime Minister Modi will inaugurate 2,722 of these newly built flats and lay the foundation stone for 6,632 flats under the Central Pool Residential Accommodation. The Indian Coast Guard organized the Indian Coast Guard 10,000 Run 2026 as part of its Golden Jubilee celebrations, marking 50 years of service to the nation. The event drew enthusiastic participation from citizens and fitness enthusiasts. The 10K run also aims to promote women empowerment and encourage greater participation in sports and fitness activities. The event formed a key highlight of the Coast Guard's 50th Raising Day commemoration. And now we turn focus to sports. We'll talk of cricket. The stage is all set for the grand finale of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2026. Defending champions India will face New Zealand in the title clash at Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad on Sunday. Suryakumar Yadav's men are just one win away from creating history, while the Black Caps are chasing their maiden T20 World Cup crown. Here's more.
India and New Zealand will lock horns in the T20 World Cup final at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad on Sunday. The Indian team steps onto the field in Ahmedabad with an opportunity to create several milestones. Till now, no team has been able to successfully defend its T20 World Cup title. If defending champions India win the final, it will be the first time in history that a team wins the T20 World Cup in consecutive editions. Moreover, no team has ever won the T20 World Cup on home soil. However, standing in their way is New Zealand, who are eyeing their first ever T20 World Championship title and a side that India have never defeated in a T20 World Cup. India and New Zealand have faced each other 30 times in T20 cricket. India have won 16 matches while New Zealand have won 11. 3 matches were tied in which India emerged victorious in 2 through super over. In the T20 World Cup, the two teams have met 3 times and on all 3 occasions, New Zealand have come out on top. In this tournament, India have lost only 1 match against South Africa. In the semi-final, India defeated England by 7 runs in a thrilling contest. New Zealand, on the other hand, suffered defeats against South Africa in the group stage and against England in the Super 8 stage. However, they stormed into the final by crushing South Africa in a one-sided semi-final. The final will be played on the centre pitch at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad, where a high-scoring contest is expected. The surface, made from a mix of red and black soil, is likely to offer bounce and could make the role of fast bowlers crucial. For India, Sanju Samson and Jasprit Bumrah are the players to watch out. Samson has piled up runs in the last 2 matches and is in excellent form. Meanwhile, Bumrah remains lethal on any ground and any pitch in the world. For New Zealand, Finn Allen has the highest strike rate in the tournament and has also smashed the most sixes, making him a dangerous prospect. Rachin Ravindra has been in the spotlight for his all-round performance. With 128 runs and 11 wickets, he has emerged as a major impact player in the tournament. India have played a total of 10 T20 matches at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad, winning 7 and losing 3. New Zealand have played 2 T20 matches at this venue and have lost both. In the current World Cup, India have played 2 matches here, beating the Netherlands while losing to South Africa.
In 2011, India became the first team to win the ODI World Cup at home. This time, India has the chance to become the first team to become the T20 World Champion at home. Let's just hope that on Sunday, in the largest cricket stadium in the world, India will become the first team to defend the T20 World Cup title and winning the T20 World Cup at home. With camera person SP Dubey, this is Suchitra reporting for DD India in Ahmedabad.
The Indian team has reached the T20 World Cup final for the second consecutive time and now has the opportunity to defend its title. Meanwhile, New Zealand national cricket team has never won the T20 World Cup and will be aiming to lift the trophy for the first time. Let's take a look at this report at which players could play a crucial role in the final showdown.
India is going to face New Zealand in T20 World Cup final in Ahmedabad's Narendra Modi Stadium. Who are going to be the key players in this final? Let's talk about New Zealand first. Finn Allen has the highest strike rate in this tournament and has hit maximum sixes in this tournament. His quick century against South Africa in the semi-finals is going to be remembered for a long time. He is going to be a big threat for Team India in the final. Kiwi wicketkeeper batsman Tim Seifert is going to be another threat for Team India. He has scored 274 runs and he is going to give a tough time to Indian bowlers in the final. Rachin Ravindra grabbed the highlights in 2023 ODI World Cup for his batting. But in this T20 World Cup, he is performing with both the bat and the ball. He has scored 128 runs and has taken 11 wickets. He is just 3 wickets away from breaking Trent Bowl's record of becoming the Kiwi bowler with highest number of wickets in a single edition of T20 World Cup. So Rachin Ravindra is going to be a key player for New Zealand in the final. If we talk about the Indian team, then Sanju Samson is having the form of his life with a strike rate of more than 200 and an average of more than 77. He is going to be one key player for Team India in the final. Jasprit Bumrah. You go to any stadium, you go to any pitch. If you have Jasprit Bumrah in your team, you always have an upper hand. Jasprit Bumrah has performed brilliantly well in the last match, in the semi-final against England. You talk about the 18th over of that match and that was a game changer. And once again, Jasprit Bumrah is going to be a key player for Team India in the final. Hardik Pandya can perform with both bat and ball. Last time India played against New Zealand in Ahmedabad, Hardik Pandya took 4 wickets and New Zealand were bundled out at 66 runs. And if we talk about his performance with the bat, then he is the second highest run getter in Ahmedabad after Virat Kohli. So Team India will be looking forward to Hardik Pandya's all-round performance in the finals. With camera person SP Dubey, this is Suchitra reporting for DD India in Ahmedabad.
All right, DD India Suchitra joins us from Ahmedabad. Suchitra, it's a super Sunday today and let's hope the best team wins. How do we expect the day ahead to pan out?
Yes, Preeti, is the T20 World Cup final, and Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. It has a capacity of 132,000. It's the largest cricket stadium in the world. So we can just hope that those 1 lakh Indian fans, they will play the role of 12th man in today's match. They will support Team India, and the fans still remember the 2023 ODI World Cup final that was played in this stadium that we lost against Australia. And this is the time to rewrite the history. We want to win World Cup at home. We want to defend our title, and we want to win an ICC title in the largest cricket stadium in the world. So today is the day to rewrite the record books, to break all the jinx related to T20 World Cup, to T20 India. No team has defended their T20 crown. No team has won the T20 World Cup at home. So the onus is on now Team India to do it all, and if any team can do it in the world, it's this Indian team, the #1 T20 team in the world. And there's one more jinx that we can talk about. ICC finals, they are usually played on a Saturday or a Sunday, the weekend. So all the titles that Team India has won, they were played on a Saturday, and the finals that they played on a Sunday, they lost all of them. So today is a Sunday, so there's one more jinx that Team India has to break today. So let's just hope that all those records are broken and Team India comes out as a winner.
All right, fingers crossed. Let's hope all jinx are broken today. Thank you so much, Suchitra, for joining us with those inputs from Ahmedabad. And from cricket, we now talk of badminton. Ace Indian shuttler Lakshya Sen stormed into the All England Open Badminton Championships men's singles final with a hard-fought win over Victor Lai of Canada in the semi-finals in Birmingham on Saturday. The 12th ranked Sen beat world number 16 Lai in the match that lasted 1 hour and 37 minutes. Lai had won a bronze medal in the World Championships in Paris last year. This will be Sen's second final appearance in the prestigious tournament, having finished runner-up in 2022. Sen, who continued his dream run in the BWF Super 1000 tournament, will face Chinese Taipei's Lin Chun Yi in the final on Sunday. That's it in this edition of DD India News. Our news and updates continue. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Geopolitics and trade deals.